All right, Stefan, thank you very much for taking your time and inviting me here to Rosendahl Nextrom and BM Rosendahl for battery manufacturing. Before we jump into today's topic on battery manufacturing, I would like to understand, how did you find into the field of batteries?
So BM is an old name standing for battery machines. We have a long-term history, more than 50 years of history in the field of lead-acid battery assembly machines.
Mm-hmm.
And with that activity, already the last, I would say, more than 10 years, 15 years, we heard already about the new developments in the battery business, mainly related to e-mobility. That was already a big header being on the market a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we followed this first. We were just following and watching what is happening. And we decided 10 years ago, we built our own machines and solutions for the market. And there we decided to focus on the module and pack assembly processes. Myself, I'm a member of Rosendahl Nextrom team, already coming out of the cable and wire industry,
Okay.
having worked here in the same company for 10 years. And with a short break, I then came back here to the company to support the sales team for our activities in lithium ion business. So I'm the sales manager for lithium ion battery requests coming to BM. And in this role, together with our team, I'm supporting our customers with their requests, and I'm the first point of contact for them.
Yeah, talking about the customer, I think a vital point also in your role is on explaining what is the key innovation that BM Rosendahl puts forward. So what is your role in the battery industry, if you can pinpoint that?
So we at BM, even with our traditional batteries in lead acid, we take the same attitude now also for lithium ion batteries.
Okay.
We provide the complete process that is necessary to produce a good product in the correct and high output that is demanded. That means also we want to understand very deeply what the customer needs. We discuss a lot their product designs, their output and quality requirements, and then custom fit the equipment for them with the processes all out of one hand.
If you're talking about the equipment, because that is what you provide, what equipment are we talking about? Because you now explained that the how, and that you're kind of having a very close customer relationship.
Yeah.
And I think we will come to that afterwards again to dive a little bit more in depth on that. But what are the disciplines that you're delivering equipment to in terms of manufacturing?
All the disciplines that are necessary, starting from the final cell until the final battery system, you can say, module and pack. It's not always standardized, the vocabulary, but we usually use cell to module to pack.
Yes.
And so we start, when we follow this trace, with cell income inspection. There is already some testing know-how necessary. Then sorting and stacking the cells together, then putting the stack into a housing. Very important, then putting the bus bar on the modules, the electrical connections are one of the key points, and then bringing the modules into a pack and do the final testing of this pack. One of the most important processes that we see in this process chain that we just explained is the connection of the bus bar, and there we see that the top technology that is used is laser welding, and we have built up our own laser competences. We have experts and equipment to support the customers from design, choice of material, up to process development, prototype build up with real cells, also here in our workshop.
Yeah, we saw that in your development center, right?
Exactly,
where you have some pilot lines built up, which is a little bit located outside, because if you work with sharp cells, then the safety precautions are important.
Exactly, yeah. And we can bring all the process then together in one working machine, including automation. But we don't only see us as an automation supplier, but automation is one tool that we deliver with the equipment. So we see us as a complete process provider to the customer. And then in terms of this laser station, we saw it in our tour in our development center. The customer gets a complete station that is working in the correct cycle time, in the speed that he needs, bringing out the correct quality. We help already with the choice of materials, provide the parameters.
In terms of material, what do you mean?
So very often, also in our traditional businesses, it happens as a machine provider, production equipment provider. We are with or independent of the customer, also in contact with the material suppliers. Can be insulation foils, compression pads, cell suppliers or bus bar material suppliers. All of them are also in contact with us, and we are in contact with them to get the sample material. And it happens very often, especially for non-automotive customers who don't yet have this expertise, that they also ask us, when they ask us for the machine and the equipment, say, and what material is now, what would you recommend? So we also give this expertise, what we have in the battery assembly process to the customer. So not only to design the machine.
Yeah, I think what stands out, from this conversation already, but also what I get from the tour and our previous discussion earlier on, is that service is a really vital point from your perspective. And I think also if we talk globally in the global landscape of competition, it's also one good argument that despite the quality and all the competence that you deliver on the equipment level, the service and development surrounding it, but also in terms of operation, then keeping up the runtime of the machines, etc., is something that you put emphasis on. Is that correct?
Yes. So what is really important for us, that we deliver machine in time, we commissioning it in time, that we train the customer correctly so that he can run the machine, and we support the customer also after startup of the equipment. So we really focus on long-term partnerships. Our typical and best customers are with us already 20 or 30 years, having continuously purchased machines from us and processes, but also then continuously develop and improve their processes. And I think this will be, or is already especially necessary in this young and not as mature industry of the new batteries with lithium ion or other chemistries.
Yes.
It will happen. You cannot avoid it as a producer nowadays, that you have to change, to adapt. You will learn how to improve it, or your application will change, and we can support that. So we will not only stay until you have your machine started up and then we leave you. We stay with you for after-sales service and for continuous improvement, and hopefully when we are all successful, then for many, many years.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, with the long-term customers that you have, and this is also what I see on the battery expedition, what we have to build now. It's not too late, but now we have to build those trustful relationships on business level, that we can together mutually grow with another. That's what I see as a vital point on growing this industry in Europe. So I think it's a very important point that you bring up there. And as I said, what I saw on the tour is what also inspired me and gave me confidence, because what I also saw is the level of depth, so the vertical integration in your production processes. So from the steelworks, the welding, milling, grinding, everything, turning, you have basically in-house here or at your other locations in Europe. If you want to explain this a little bit more, what drove this decision for going so vertically?
I think it's a quality decision. Yeah? When you want to have your quality under control and improve it, so we cannot compete on a big production scale. What you see and what we provide is standard machine components, so we can source from the typical European suppliers.
Yeah.
All our supply chain is based on European suppliers. And the key elements, very often it's the last tool working on the product. We want to be able to produce ourselves. There we need high precision, we need special surfaces. We need to understand ourselves out of the process, what does this part really need? And then we can also react fast if we have to change and adapt, and we learn new demands and new solutions.
Okay, so from the mechanical point of view, I understood. How about the digital part? Because every machine, every automation equipment needs a brain, right?
Yeah.
And what you also explained me is that you have something to offer there as well. Maybe you can explain this briefly.
Yeah, so it does not stop at the finished machine, which is mainly a composition of mechanical and electrical parts with automation. So we have our own automation engineers. We do the PLC programming ourselves internally. And with the same team, we would then go to commissioning. First, the factory acceptance test here, but then later on also at the customer side. And the same team is later on doing the after-sales service. And on top of this team, when automation is running, we have our own process experts. They are really experts who were producing already batteries partly themselves the last 10, 15 years.
So you just mentioned it, the customer, like the site acceptance test. Who is your customer? Who's the BM Rosendahl customer typically?
So the very first customers that we have, because we have already this trust basis, are of course customers coming out of the lead acid battery business. They are typically not going into the EV market. They can go as a first step into the stationary battery business, so BESS, but also in the off-road mobility market can be there is a huge market starting from forklifts up to all industrial vehicles, agriculture, mining, even aviation and so on.
And up to which scale is your equipment capable of delivering production services? So are we talking gigawatt scale or megawatt scale? What is the range of quantity that you can deliver?
Yes, very first, of course, we started with single machines. Of course, single machines, then when you combine single machines, you can reach a certain output.
Or?
Yes, you can parallelize certain stations. We like to use then the expression matrix. You have certain single process stations and you combine them first manually, later on by HEVs or other transfer systems. But we can also do fully integrated connection production lines, and typically there we are in the gigawatt range at the moment. We delivered, for example, a line based on prismatic cells working on 5 seconds per cell as the basic cycle speed. And with their first product, a home storage product, we had an output in 3 shifts of 1 gigawatt hour per year.
Okay, understand. So let's come to 3 key questions that I ask every guest of this format, of this expedition, of this campaign. The first one is, let's call it a negative one. It's the challenges that we see in Europe hindering us back. You know, the hypothesis of this expedition was that we do have the competence, but we need to connect it more. So, and I was building this campaign because I was seeing points that were holding us back. And now I want to have your perspective to add it to my portfolio of answers for this question. What are those challenges?
So what is really often missing is, let's say, the correct attitude to work together already in an early stage. So I would suggest that we talk more to the different business partners. So what we really like and what we did in some successful projects, when we come into the project in an early stage, earlier than the production machine is really defined, so that we can already support with our know-how in terms of processes, materials, and design elements for the final product that are necessary for a successful product design.
Yeah, so early on communication, that's kind of the key word here.
Yeah.
If we frame this positively, coming to the potential, so the second key question, what is the potential that Europe can build upon? What gives us confidence and trust that we will succeed?
So we see that we really have most of the competences in Europe. So we just need to bring them together. And there again, it's a communication and the partnerships that we provide. So we really like to partner with our customers in a very early stage, supporting them before you even talk about the real machine. We can support in the design phase already with, let's say, design for manufacturing. Then we can support with the parameters, with the choice of technology for a certain demand or solution. And then later on provide the machine, including parameters and competences, and train the customer. So for example, laser welding, again, it's quite a high level technology. Many are afraid of it. We can provide you the development, we provide you the station. We also give you training, and we tell you which competences that you need to build up to be able to handle this technology yourself.
I think this kind of circles back to the partnering point that you also made earlier. So what would be your call to action if you would have one advice to our industry, to all stakeholders out there? What would it be?
Yeah, be more open for collaboration. We all think that we have so many secrets to hide and so many new developments. Maybe sometimes we have to take a step back and say it's not maybe such a big secret, or I have to talk with my partner openly, and then we can easier and more quicker come to a successful solution.
Okay. So Stefan, thank you very much for giving me those insights, for touring around with me the whole, no, not the whole day, but some time of the day. It was very interesting. I learned a lot, and I'm very grateful that you're a partner of the Battery Expedition partner company. So yeah, let's collaborate, as you said, and bring this industry forward.
Yeah, thank you, Simon, to invest your time to come here. Hopefully also many customers will come and partners will come to see us, and we will for sure meet again in the European battery business.